was like, have you ever caught bass up in there? He's like, no. I'm like, what? If those are 2 feet underwater, are you kidding me? Oh. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another episode. My name is Sam Sobi. If you're brand new and you're not yet subscribed, please subscribe and please check out the man of the hour, Hayes Baldwin, Brainerd's Guides, best guide. And yeah, today we're doing a little bit of pre-fishing for a big crappie derby we got coming up. I've never fished in a crappie tournament, and it's a pretty cool deal. You can fish multiple, usually in a fishing tournament, a team tournament, it's 2 people, but you can fish as many people, I think, as your boat allows. This is no joke. This is a big crappie tournament. This is $5,000 for first prize if the tournament fills up. What is it, 50 teams?
I think we're at 41 or something.
Yeah. So right now it's gonna be Hayes, my buddy Augie, my buddy Brooks, and myself, and we're all competing out of the Lund, Alaska. Talk to me a little bit, Hayes. What are we doing today? Today is very important. Today is what, Thursday?
Today is like serious day 2 of pre-fish. I think we were out about a week ago and did some fishing, but today we're looking for those, you know, those 12, 13-inch crappie that'll eventually, hopefully, win us the tournament. And the thing about Minnetonka is, you know, from east to west, north to south, there's a lot of crappies, and so we've caught some this morning, small ones, and we've been kind of moving and settled into this little cut here, and hopefully we can, you know, pick through or weed through and see if we can find, you know, the 12 inchers we'll need to win, and then maybe a big kicker. I'd feel bad hooking a 14 today, but
we're kind of trying to narrow down different areas of the lake where we can catch a little bit better fish. We're looking for those 12+ inch fish, or even just heavy 11s, because we've got 10 of them to weigh in, and they got to be heavier than everybody else's. So like we said, we're going to keep them honest. We're going to check some back cuts, look for some warm water. We're also going to fish a lot of main lake, look for good weeds, look for kind of transition areas or pre-spawn areas where these fish are set up and they're eating before they kind of push into these back cuts. So right now we're getting out of the wind. I think it's, what is it, 30 degrees, 34 degrees? Yeah, it's really cold and it's really windy, so we're just going to kind of let this sun heat this water up a little bit. Hopefully the wind calms down. We'll check some cuts and then bounce around out in main lake. But yeah, we'll bring you along with and show you kind of how we're pre-fishing for this. This is new to us too. We haven't fished a lot of crappie tournaments in the past, but we've done some spring crappie fishing, so hopefully we figure it out.
yeah, I feel like that's the ultimate cast. You're gonna find out, I guess, but like I feel like that's where the majority of them are. You know. Nice. Double, ready?
Yeah.
Come on. Come back and grab it. Dude.
So we fished some main lake spots, and we've actually tried quite a few cuts. This is one of the first cuts in this section of the lake that we found them absolutely stacked. This is a nice fish. To our right, under this dock, under the kind of this little boathouse, Hayes saw like a whole school of them with his eyes. I don't know if that's going to translate in the tournament because it seems like it's going to be really cloudy and rainy, but at least right now we know way in the back of this cut there's a population of fish. So we're going to probably weed through these a little bit, see if we can get some big ones. If not, I'm sure there's big ones here. We just might have to just bank on getting a little lucky derby day.
Yeah.
But if we can find a few more of these cuts and a few more main lake areas, this is a good option. Get out of the wind derby day.
So here's another gorgeous eater, and just a quick tip for everyone spring crappie fishing. And I think a reason with it's been so cold, and we've seen this out in deep water and shallow water. One of the big things right now is fishing high up in the water column, because you know, no matter where you are in the lake, the warmest water is at the top, you know, and so that's why we were able to actually visually see these fish, which is helping us catch them. But you know, if you have a couple people in the boat, it's good to have one guy fishing a little lower and one guy fishing higher, because you know, the higher up you fish, you know, the warmer the water is, and that can be, you know, the reason that the fish are right under the surface. I mean, even anywhere from 20 feet up to, you know, 2 feet. That warm water's on the top at this time of year. So I mean, it's very similar to, you know, you get a lot of drainage when the ice is coming off the lake, and the fish are very high as well. Just something to remember, little tip.
Just like Hayes was saying, the water closer to the surface is much warmer, so we really adjusted our bobbers. We're only fishing, I don't know, a foot and a half down, and we're just kind of trying to precision cast as far back as we can. Some of these crappies are right on the shade line, but we're starting to catch them even farther back kind of in this boat now.
You got them.
The garlow. Oh, nice one. Beautiful eater. I'm just using a little mini mite cubby jig. Hayes is using a Bobby Garland plastic on just a tiny little, what was it, 1/64th ounce?
Yeah.
We're going really light.
Yeah, that's another key for sure.
And that's everything. Adjusting your knot after every time you cast or every time you catch a fish. It's because you want it to be sitting at a 90-degree angle if you can. It's going to help that plastic and that jig just kind of kick on the spot when you're just kind of ever so slightly moving your bobber. Just want it to kick, 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 kick.
So one of the big things this time of year is, you know, your better bites are going to come in the afternoon as the water warms. There's another good one. But, you know, the sun is beating down on it all day, and so you can get some of your best bites later in the afternoon. Just something to remember.
We are ratting around now. If this doesn't look like beautiful spring crappie habitat, I don't know what does. Same song and dance as we've been doing. Just a couple adjustable bobbers with some mini mites. Hayes is probably throwing some Bobby Garland plastics. Just soaking it under a float. This is sweet.
Yeah, this is target fishing big time. They're always up on the wood and stuff in here, so let's see what we can do.
Alrighty, Hazer and I just fished another cut, and we struck gold. Uh-oh. Talk to me. Things are happening.
Things are happening, and you know what? I can contribute it to the sun. I mean, you know, the sun has shined all day long, and in the last week and a half, I don't think we've had much sun. And obviously, you know, the weather can be 60 degrees, but if it's cloudy, that water is just not going to heat up the same as if it was sunny. So a lot of these back areas and you know, these cuts that we've gone in today have had fish in them, and I think we can, you know, contribute it to, for sure, warmer water. We saw up to 48 degrees today, which is the warmest I've seen this spring, and it's crazy of me saying that at the end of April. I mean, we're going to be so far, the crappie spawn in Minnesota is going to be like, you know, beginning or middle of June, which is pretty rare. Usually they spawn around Memorial Day, so everything's just kind of behind schedule, but I mean, we can't complain. We found them, and we haven't found quite the tournament winning fish, but we're still searching, so stay tuned.
We've still got plenty of daylight. It's a beautiful day. It's supposed to rain like next couple days, so we really just need to capitalize on the couple hours of sunlight we have left. So I think we're taking a jaunt down the lake, hit a couple more cuts, maybe some more main lake weeds, but we just need to cover water. Cover water, look for good weeds, look for warm water. That's all we can do. Hazer, talk to me.
Stuck a nice crappie here. Back of a cut. I mean, that's the kind we need tomorrow. Right there, 12-incher. We'll let them go here.
Nice, right by that little beaver dam there. It's kind of on the outskirts of it. We caught bluegills right up next to it. I poked a bass, and then Hayes is just kind of slowly working his bobber out and out and out, and then nice crappie.
Yeah, I mean, these cuts are basically seemingly vacant of cover besides docks and wood like this, but I mean, a beaver dam is a super good place to catch crappie because, you know, it's deeper in the front, and a lot of them will sit out in the area there, and yeah, we just got to see if there's a few more, and then we're gonna get out of here probably. So here's the deal, folks. You want to put more spring crappies in the boat? And I'm not sponsored, but mini mite cubby jigs are the best thing that ever happened to crappie fishing. Go to your local gas station, bait store, and see if you can get some. If not, you got to order them. Go to www.catchmorespringcrappies.com and get yourself some. You're not going to want to miss out on this fantastic lure. It's straight catches. You'll see.
All right, so overall, good day of pre-fishing. I don't know what we totally showed you. It was pretty windy on the main lake, but besides finding a few different spots and a few decent fish, we came home with some fish, which is sweet. Steph and I are gonna have some fresh fish tonight. There's a lot of 9 to 10.5 inch crappies on Minnetonka, which is sweet. So it makes it a good tournament lake because there are big fish, but there's also a good population of eaters. So it's not going to be easy to catch big fish out there, but we're going to need a little luck and hopefully our practice pays off. But for now, I'm going to clean some fish. All right, we're pretty much finished. I'm just gonna clean these up. And yeah, probably get them on some cold water and we'll eat them tonight. Let's go wash these up and then we'll talk about some baits. So for the longest time, probably like many of you, I kind of thought, oh, it's a bobber. It doesn't matter. I've used rocket bobbers. I've used just your traditional clip-on bobbers. And I had that same exact opinion, like, it's a bobber. If they eat it, I'm going to see it, boom, set the hook. But especially for these really cold water pre-spawn crappies, the bite's been very light. And this adjustable bubble bobber, it sits flat in the water column 100% of the time. So if you don't really know your depth, this bobber might not be a good choice for you. So like every time I'm yak fishing, if I don't really know my depth, this has kind of been a struggle because I don't really know, hey, is my bait on the bottom? Because usually your bobber flips over on its side if you're set too deep. But this bobber always sits like this. And then when you get a bite, it just tips up. Or you can kind of just see it bounce a little bit. So it detects really light bites, which is pretty sweet. Especially it's been such an unseasonably cold spring. But how you basically adjust this bobber on your line is you pull this down and there's some shrink tubing in there. And that's what's keeping tension on your line. So I twist that. And now I can move the line freely through it. So if you go into a back cut and you know you're going to be fishing really shallow, or if you move out of the back cut, you're fishing deep, you can just twist it and then adjust it. See that shrink tubing? Now I just spin it and see how it's like. See how just kind of with friction it's wrapping around your line? So you never really crimp your light line. Boom, you're good to go. This has been an absolute game changer. At least I think it has been. I've seen a lot more light bites and I feel like I've caught a lot more crappies just because of that bobber. Besides that, we've really been sticking to just a couple baits. These little cubbies in the all pink or the pink and white. This has just been kind of my go-to all spring. These tails, they don't have a lot of action, but the plastics stay on there really well. It's just a very light lead jig. And then besides that, when I'm not fishing under a bobber, I've been throwing around this VMC boot tail jig. And same deal, when you're under a bobber, this thing just kind of quivers, and they like that. But if I'm casting open water, this boot tail kicks, and it's just like throwing a swim bait around for bass or for walleye. It's just a good search bait. So those have been kind of the two crushers. That's the setup, and that was a little bit from our practice.
I bet you that bar is going to sound really nice.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls,
Welcome to the Crappie Derb. Memories Make Crappie Derb. First prize, close to $5,000. It's like 50 boats, Lake Minnetonka. It's gonna be raining today. I have no idea how much we're gonna film, but here are the rules. Each team can weigh in 10 crappies, and it goes by total weight. So it doesn't matter if you get a long skinny one or a short fat one, total weight takes the cake. So that's what we're gonna do. We're about to blast off. Hazer's in the back running the tiller. Let's get it out! Yeah! Hold on, it's gonna be a little bumpy. Alrighty boys, spot number one. We're fishing just a tiny little cut. It's got a little isolated beaver dam in the back. These fish were kind of set up on the outside of this beaver dam. It's a really just typical spring crappie looking spot. Hayes and I did a little pre-fishing. We caught some big ones here, so we'll probably fish this whole cut in here, but we're gonna really key in on that beaver dam. So, bigs. Already a little update, spot change. We're moving on to like spot number 3. I don't know what we've shown you. It's been raining pretty dang hard. We've got 10 crappies and no real bigs yet. So we've got our limit for the derb, but we just need to upgrade.
Now we're going for the biggies. Let's
Yeah.
go.
What are we talk about what we're about to fish next?
Well, actually, let me take my hood off because there's zero rain for the first time of the day. We're going to a spot that Sam and Hayes caught the biggest fish that they caught in pre-fishing. The spot they caught a 13-incher. We're gonna go try to weed out a bunch of fish, try to call these ones out. And then I ended on a spot. These guys had to go pick up their truck yesterday. I ended on a spot by myself, and I actually caught a 24-inch walleye, but a lot of crappie. So we're going them back into the juice hole. Yeah. And we're gonna do some
6 to 8 foot cabbage. Let's get it on. All right, current time check. It's noon. We've been slowly upgrading some nicer fish here and there. It's lunch break. Augie, what's on the menu for you?
guacamole.
Some whole wheat toast, turkey, guacamole for him. Brooksy just had a granola bar. We got a little ham and cheese. We need bigger ones. What do you think?
We're gonna have to upgrade a little bit, but I think we're hanging on for sure, and I don't think we're far off.
Okay, the day is winding down. Talk to me.
I mean, it was fun. We probably cycled through 75 to 100 fish, but I mean, we never got a giant bite. But quite honestly, we got a number of them, and I'd say we got a decent average. We should finish middle of the pack. Yeah. A fun first crappie derby for me and the boys. So,
and it's just starting to sprinkle now, but it's basically been raining all day long.
It's been nasty. We're soaked from head to toe, and we're ready for a nice hot meal at Lord Fletcher's.
Let's go see what we got here. We don't know what we have for weight. We've definitely been leveling up, calling up ounces, but ounces are ounces. What do you think? We gave it our all.
We did what we could. I don't know. I think the flew outfished the cubby, but that's just me.
The tourney's over.
Thank God.
Oh.
Let's go!
The tourney's over. We weighed in 6 pounds for 10 fish. I don't know where that put us, probably somewhere in the middle of the pack. There's a lot of 5-pound bags, but huge congratulations and shout out to our buddy Adam Griffith, Shane Gaston, Matt Waldron. They took home the W. They took home close to $5,000 and they crushed it. I think they weighed in what, close to 10 pounds? Close to 10 pounds to win the derb, and this is back-to-back wins for them. So huge shout out to our friends. And yeah, we'll be back next year for sure. We'll be back.
Every year, buddy.
Every year, buddy. Thank you guys for watching this video all the way to the end. I truly appreciate it. I guess there's nothing left to say than stay tuned. And as always, for the adventure begins.
Move ahead, oh my pretty babe. Something ain't right. Got to find a way to move ahead. Oh my pretty